Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Swallowed Star 2 Land of Origin Part 37 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. Marquis of Zhujiang chuckled upon hearing this. All right, all according to Brother Luo his wishes. He also secretly marveled that Brother Luo his close circle included merely an old servant and a disciple, which allowed him to act without much concern. How enviable indeed. Fortunately, such a pinnacle being of the primal chaos realm was his friend. Huyang city shall belong to Brother Luo but I still need to report to the monarch, said Marquis of Zhujiang. Mainly because the 5 great families originally managing the city owner's mansion need some arrangements. Then I'll leave the trouble to Marquis of Zhujiang, Luo Feng nodded. During their conversation, they decided the fate of all parties in Huyang city. Within Huyang city, the Heart Shadow sect was now anxious and fearful. Marquis Liu Yin has retreated, what shall we do? The master of the Heart Shadow sect, the 18 elders, and Qiu Yi were all somewhat distraught. For now, their lives were at the mercy of Marquis of Zhujiang's side. What can we do? With Great Saint Luo He and Marquis of Zhujiang both in the city, we have no power to resist and can only accept whatever comes. Considering the elders, they should spare our lives. As for the treasures, they are likely to be seized. They too were discussing this. Suddenly, a wave of the void swept across the entire Heart Shadow sect's territory. All the eternal true gods of the Heart Shadow sect were powerless to resist and were all transported by the void. Where is this? Have we been captured? When they looked around, they discovered they had appeared inside a vast prison. The master of the Heart Shadow sect and others were well aware that they had been easily captured, and since it involved a void transport, it surely was Marquis of Zhujiang himself who had made a move. In the prison, one of Marquis of Zhujiang's trusted aides commanders, Jiang Yuyo, stood with a group of subordinates, coldly observing the massive assembly of thousands of eternal true gods beside him, with Morosa and Mu Qingyang standing by his side. By the order of City Lord Luo He, investigate the crimes of Heart Shadow sect for plundering Huyang city and slaughtering the citizens of Huyang, said Jiang Yuyo. Upon these words, the multitude of eternal true gods from the Heart Shadow sect trembled. An investigation into the looting and slaughtering? Elders, we've been captured alive by Great Saint Luo He and Marquis of Zhujiang, yet they still want to investigate our plundering and slaughters. What are we to do? Simultaneously, the master of the Heart Shadow sect contacted the 2 elders from the primal chaos realm. Indio? Now my Heart Shadow sect cannot provoke Great Saint Luo He. The responses from the 2 elders were one brief and another slightly explanatory. Just let them kill us, the master of the Heart Shadow sect continued to inquire. Were the 2 elders simply watching with their eyes open? One elder cut off the communication outright. It depends on whether Great Saint Luo He is merciful, another elder responded and also cut off the communication. The 2 primal chaos realm elders were already weary. Previously, it was because of the disciples of the Heart Shadow sect acting recklessly for a long time, which accidentally led to the death of a descendant of the great Saint Zhou Yuan, provoking his wrath and resulting in the death of one elder while the other 2 fled for their lives. The great Saint Zhou Yuan, at least, still had many scruples in his actions. This great Saint Luo He, capable of repressing Marquis Liu Yin and with fewer attachments, if provoked further, the 2 elders might have to die again. Elder. No matter how the master of the Heart Shadow sect tried to communicate, both elders had cut off their communication. By the order of City Lord Luo He, since the Heart Shadow sect commanded the looting and slaughtering, the entire sect no longer needs to exist and shall be disbanded, Jiang Yuyo said. Those Heart Shadow sect disciples who engaged in looting and slaughtering are to be executed without mercy. The thousands of eternal true gods present all trembled in fear. The sect is no more, to fight to kill? Those who were only ordered to loot and did not participate in slaughtering might be dealt with less severely, Jiang Yuyo added. Deal with less severely? Many eternal true gods breathed a sigh of relief. The ones who truly committed ruthless slaughters were only a minority. The Heart Shadow sect has 2 elders in the primal chaos realm. Dare you kill us? Both Great Saint Luo He and Marquis of Zhujiang are from the primal chaos realm. Don't bully the weak. Instantly, Many of the eternal true gods who had participated in the slaughters became frantic and hysterical. However, under the formation of the city owner's mansion, they were easily restrained, making them unable to speak. With Luo Feng and Marquis of Zhujiang presiding over the city owner's mansion, how could the eternal true gods of the Heart Shadow sect resist? My city owner's mansion monitors the entire city, and many scenes of looting and slaughtering were recorded at the time. Moreover, the Heart Shadow sect itself also recorded the events of looting and slaughtering at that time. Jiang Yuyo spoke with Morosa beside him. Any participant in the slaughters will not escape, and similarly, no eternal true god will be killed by mistake. Our master is still very merciful, Morosa indifferently observed the group of eternal true gods from the Heart Shadow sect. Great Saint Luo, he is merciful. Those who enjoy slaughtering deserve to be killed. Those weak citizens had absolutely no power to resist, there was no need for slaughtering. It's just some disciples recklessly causing disasters, dragging us down. Still, Great Saint Luo, he is merciful, sparing us. Those eternal true gods of the Heart Shadow sect who survived were singing praises. What does the sect matter as long as you are alive? The sect was already decaying and splitting. It seems better now to be completely extinguished. Royal capital of the Yu Kingdom, in the cave mansion of Her Royal Highness the Princess Yushui Tianyu. What? Yushui Tianyu had received detailed intelligence on the battle in Huyang City. Suddenly, a pinnacle of primal chaos realm existence had risen, which might seem insignificant in the two ancient countries, but in the second and third tier border nations, it was a significant event. Customers who had long-term intelligence subscriptions with the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall received the news immediately. Brother Luo, he is actually a pinnacle of primal chaos realm existence hiding in Huyang City. Yushui Tianyu could hardly believe it. As the daughter of the monarch of Yu country, she held a high position and was well informed. She knew very well what a pinnacle of primal chaos realm existence meant. In the border nations, such an existence could already decide some of the order within the country. Even the imperial clansmen of the two ancient countries had to restrain themselves in front of such entities. Summon the Black Butcher and Suo Zi here, Yushui Tianyu instructed. Yes, replied an attendant from outside the hall. Soon, the Black Butcher arrived with his disciple Suo Zi, both behaving respectfully. Their days had indeed been much more comfortable since they came to the royal capital. Your Highness, the Black Butcher and Suo Zi greeted respectfully. Suo Zi looked slightly confused, as he was merely a disciple of the Black Butcher and normally had no right to meet Her Royal Highness the Princess. I just received some news today, Yushui Tianyu said, smiling at them. Marquis Liu Yin made a move personally in Huyang City. The Black Butcher and Suo Zi were shocked. He really made a move? Luo he intervened and defeated Marquis Liu Yin, Yushui Tianyu continued, smiling as she observed the astonishment of the Black Butcher and Suo Zi. She had been equally shocked when she first received the news. This. The Black Butcher and Suo Zi could hardly believe. The true identity of Luo he is actually that of a pinnacle of primal chaos realm existence who was hiding in Huyang City, Yushui Tianyu revealed. The days he spent in hiding there, you two were able to make his acquaintance, consider it a twist of fate on your part. You may leave now, commanded Yushui Tianyu. Yes. The Black Butcher and Suo Zi left respectfully. Yushui Tianyu watched their retreating figures, they might be of great use in the future. Asterisk. Flame Wind Pavilion. Emperor Chu Yu and Luo Feng sat down, with the deputy pavilion master accompanying them on the side. Brother Luo you really had me fooled, Emperor Chu Yu laughed, I thought you were truly an eternal true god. I've been hiding in Huyang City, immersed in the study of body refinement techniques, Luo Feng explained. Having Morosa with him meant he had to act somewhat normally. Proactively admitting to being a reclusive pinnacle of primal chaos realm was the best excuse. The outside world might suspect that he was a reincarnated powerhouse. Such suspicions didn't matter in the least. Since you've been a primal chaos cultivator for a while now, and I've also made the breakthrough into primal chaos realm, Emperor Chu Yu said, then we can prepare to return to Flame Wind Ancient Country. I can leave at any time, Luo Feng said. Precisely because he possessed extensive intelligence from both the mountain-sitting guest lineage and the Duandong River lineage, Luo Feng was very curious about the flame-wind ancient country and indeed wanted to experience it for himself. Moreover, the primordial ancestor was also in the flame-wind ancient country, and he had told him he'd meet up there. You should know that the true powerhouses of the land of origin are mostly in the two ancient countries, Emperor Chu stated. For instance, in the cultivation of primal chaos realm, reaching the pinnacle in the border nations usually means no further advancement. But in the two ancient countries, there are stronger and special legacies, making it possible for those in the primal chaos realm to possess the strength of ordinary godly kings. Such power is considered the limit of the primal chaos realm by our two ancient countries, often referred to as transcendence of primal chaos realm, tier, Emperor Chu explained. And the cultivation of the godly king tier, we two ancient countries far surpass any other nation. Like the monarch of Yu Kingdom, the master of the Shi Kingdom, and other powerful god kings who established second-tier nations, nearly all are ministers of the two ancient countries, Emperor Chu said. Throughout the land of origin, apart from the indigenous people, all other powers choose to ally with one of the two ancient countries. Luo Feng nodded. He knew this. The border nations of the land of origin must choose a side to support. Only the first-tier national powers could interact with both ancient nations. Yu Kingdom, Shi Kingdom, each had only the Flame Wind Pavilion within their territories. In the entire land of origin, it's actually the two ancient countries that make the rules, Emperor Chu stated. All other powerhouses revolved around them. The territories occupied by the two ancient countries are also at the center of the land of origin, and all of the most precious resources of the land of origin are in the hands of the two ancient countries, Emperor Chu said, looking at Luo Feng. Likewise, the competition within the ancient countries is very fierce. In my flame-wind ancient country, there are many internal factions. The imperial 13 branches, disciples under the emperor, disciples under the minister god kings, and free cultivators like yourself, brother Luo He. The internal competition is extremely fierce, Emperor Chu stated. There are so many precious resources, but many competitors, ultimately the strong get stronger, and the weak become resource-deprived. Emperor Chu looked at Luo Feng. Upon my return to the ancient country, I will need your help. Of course, I will also help you in return. Understood. I've long heard that the two ancient countries are filled with formidable figures and fierce competition, Luo Feng said. Seeking revenge for his master, the mountain-sitting guest, was not an easy task. Even when three masters of the Shi Kingdom joined forces, his master, the mountain-sitting guest, was still able to escape. Obviously, at the godly king tier, completely defeating a godly king is very difficult. For himself to be able to kill the three masters of the Shi Kingdom, he must far surpass them. To grow to that level, he currently lacked even a suitable legacy. The best course of action was to go to the flame-wind ancient country. Competition? He had never been afraid of competition. Apart from internal competition, there's also the conflict with the Thunder Ancient Country, Emperor Chu said. The border conflicts between Flame-Wind Ancient Country and Thunder Ancient Country have never stopped. Minor conflicts involve battles at the primal chaos realm level. Major conflicts, that's when the godly kings intervene. I've heard of it, Luo Feng grinned, his fighting spirit soaring within. Warfare? A primal chaos realm perfect divine body with the 5 great transformations technique fused within, afraid of warfare? Good, Emperor Chu looked at Luo Feng's confident demeanor, feeling even more gratified. Frankly, he was somewhat worried about the future since he was a newly advanced breakthrough and his strength was relatively weak. In the early stages of growth, he really needed assistance from the ministers. Soon, Flame Wind Pavilion will have a new pavilion master arrive. Once the affairs are handed over, we can return. Emperor Chu also looked forward with anticipation. The ancient Huyang city, after battles between two pinnacle of primal chaos realm, finally regained its peace. What a pity for my weapon, the bit of cosmic sun I had accumulated was all taken away. Being alive is good enough. Let's hurry up and leave. That night, a large number of eternal true gods of void space, and true gods from the Heart Shadow sect were freed. The eternal true gods of the sect, many of whom were carrying large mechanical treasures and relics of the sect, now had them all confiscated, leaving not even a single weapon behind. The true gods of void space, the disciples on the level of true gods, were not troubled though. With no Heart Shadow sect, Marquis Liu Yin and the two ancient ones don't care about us. Where do we go now? With our strength, where can't we go? Huyang City is on the border of two countries, who knows if it will start up again. I'd rather go to an ordinary city. Brother Yufeng, let us go together. The eternal true gods were still quite confident, having once been disciples of a great sect, even without weapons or treasures. Their mastery of secret techniques was profound, and many began leaving Huyang City for surrounding cities. Great Saint Luo he hates evil like an enemy, dislikes dark forces. His Huyang City is still suitable for living. Some eternal true gods also had families, and did not wish to keep wandering. Many of the true gods of void space and lesser true gods from the Heart Shadow sect, being weaker, preferred not to travel far and chose to settle in Huyang City. Our treasures, great Saint Luo he did not take them away, he is very merciful. These true gods of void space and true gods held a favorable view of Luo Feng. Over 80% of the eternal true gods released from the Heart Shadow sect left, but the majority of the middle and lower tiers stayed in Huyang City, determined to settle down there. This substantially increased the number of powerful individuals in Huyang City. Huyang City will be lively from now on. From the walls of the city owner's mansion, Luo Feng looked out over the peaceful city beneath the night sky, now his own city. Master. Morosa appeared beside him. All the treasures of the Heart Shadow sect have been sealed, all personally overseen by me, and have been completely tallied. How are they? Luo Feng asked. Right here. Morosa handed over an ink jade bottle to Luo Feng. All treasures and assets are inside. Luo Feng took it and inspected it. The wealth of the Heart Shadow sect was stored in the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall, managed by two Pinnacle of Primal Chaos Realm individuals. Normally, only through the application of the Master of the Heart Shadow sect would the two Pinnacle of Primal Chaos Realm release some amount. Morosa said, what we were able to seize were just some of the tangible assets of the Heart Shadow sect. Luo Feng wasn't surprised. With two Pinnacle of Primal Chaos Realm individuals present, the truly core treasures of the Heart Shadow sect were definitely hidden by those two. The assets we seized belong to thousands of eternal true gods from the Heart Shadow sect, probably including those they plundered from all over Huyang City. Now mixed together, making them hard to identify, totaling more than 2.9 billion cosmic sand, and also about 3.7 billion cosmic sand worth of weapons and treasures, including the warship from the Flame Wind ancient country, sect-protecting treasures, many large treasures, etc., all have been accounted for in the estimates. Luo Feng nodded, totaling over 6 billion cosmic sand. Perhaps any of the two Pinnacle of Primal Chaos Realm ancestors from the Heart Shadow sect would have accumulations surpassing these. Like Marquis Liu Yin, a single weapon was worth 50 billion. The amount they use on their own cultivation was likely much more. Their sect's heritage, not to mention the weaker inheritances, in total there are 122 types of Primal Chaos Realm inheritances, 5 types at the Godly King level. But these 5 Godly King level inheritances only have parts up to the Primal Chaos Realm. Morosa said, according to interrogations, the subsequent parts beyond the Primal Chaos Realm are in the hands of the two from the Heart Shadow sect. Luo Feng had already discovered 5 Godly King level inheritances inside the Moyu bottle, pervaded by divine power. He examined them. All stopped abruptly at the Primal Chaos Realm. The subsequent parts? Not at all. Getting a suitable Godly King level inheritance for oneself really isn't easy. Luo Feng sighed internally. Any power tightly controls their inheritances. Wanting a top-notch inheritance? There's a price to pay. Considering becoming a guest elder for the Flame Wind ancient country sounds splendid. But he could guess with his eyes closed, acquiring any inheritance comes at a cost. Becoming a guest elder, at least there would be opportunities to contend for resources, to battle for inheritances. Luo Feng understood this. Without being a guest elder, he wouldn't even have a chance. That night, the original ruling class of Huyang City, the 5 great families, most of their descendants were very unwilling because the owner of the city had become Great Saint Luo He. Their days of eating and drinking in luxury were over. Flame Wind Pavilion has already arranged for flying boats. They will escort the family away. Everyone prepare quickly. Many of the Meiwu clan's descendants were not willing, but the operational order of the upper levels of Yu Kingdom was determined by godly kings and those in the primal chaos realm. The local Lord Marquis Zhu Jiang voluntarily gave Huyang City to Luo He. The monarch of Yu Country too was pleased to see this scene unfold. These major family branches didn't even have the right to object. How is the ancestral land arranging for us? Are they sending us to other large cities? There are only so many large cities in Yu Kingdom, no chance of being settled elsewhere, only to go back to our ancestral land. Go back to our ancestral land, and abide by the arrangements. Before us the ruling family, many family members held important positions in Huyang City, even those without any position received quite a bit of primal chaos crystal every cycle. Now all these were gone. Flame Wind Pavilion arranged flying boats, and that night they escorted the 5 great families away. Father Moli Meng looked at his father, Moli Xiao. From now on, follow the city lord closely. Moli Xiao smiled and said, if possible, I even want to follow the city lord. But I have my duties, and with the orders from the royal capital, I can only comply. In the previous Huyang City, the lord of Huyang City managed many affairs, and Moli Xiao handled the military matters. Both of them were truly getting things done. When the Yu Kingdom's capital withdrew its administration layer, they completely empowered Luo Feng. They also transferred Moli Xiao and others. As Moli Xiao was not one of those disposable members of the families, he was of significant use. I'm taking most of the family heirs with me, leaving only a few for you to take care of, Moli Xiao instructed. Don't worry, father, Moli Meng nodded. His father had also left him with 3 family eternal true gods as assistants. Moli Xiao nodded with a smile. This time, it was Luo Feng himself who spoke up, inviting Moli Meng to stay. Moli Meng had previously managed many affairs within the city, and was very familiar with, and capable of, managing a city. As for Moli Xiao, Luo Feng wasn't so concerned about him. Because the future Huyang City didn't need the military deterrence. City owner's mansion. Luo Feng looked at Moli Meng and Mo Yu Hu before him and smiled. From now on, you two will be the deputy city lords of Huyang City. You can discuss and solve many of the major and minor affairs, and if you can't solve them, then report back to me. Yes, city lord, both Moli Meng and Mo Yu Hu were exhilarated. In the previous Huyang City, it was the leaders of the 5 great families who jointly managed affairs. Moli Meng had never had as much power as he did now. And now, he was following someone from the pinnacle of primal chaos realm. Moli Meng very clearly saw the great opportunity he had encountered. Mo Yu Hu was even more excited. Previously serving under Moli Meng, he was also very familiar with many of the city's administration affairs. I never thought that I, Mo Yu Hu, would actually become a deputy city lord of Huyang. Mo Yu Hu felt that the day he encountered city lord Luo He in the wilderness was truly a turning point in his fate. Luo Feng nodded. Managing a city was not something he had the energy for, but he also wouldn't just trust one side. I'll state 2 new rules for the future, Luo Feng said. Moli Meng and Mo Yu Hu immediately listened attentively. First, the future Huyang City will have no dark forces, Luo Feng stated. Both Moli Meng and Mo Yu Hu were familiar with city affairs, and they both realized the impact of this rule. Many ordinary businesses almost had their profits taken by dark forces, sometimes struggling and still ending up at a loss. Without the dark forces, the commerce in Huyang City would definitely flourish. For cultivators wanting to settle down, the attractiveness would also greatly increase. Second, the future Huyang City will not need the Huyang Legion, Luo Feng continued. The Huyang Guards will stay and are responsible for maintaining order within the city. The Huyang Legion was used to deter enemies and to handle some powerful adversaries. In one's own city, a legion was not needed. These are the main 2 rules. For other detailed management plans, you two first discuss them and then submit them to me, Luo Feng said. My requirement is that the administration of the city owner's mansion is as streamlined as possible. Yes, both Moli Meng and Mo Yu Hu responded. City Lord, with the recent war, there has been a minor loss of citizens in the entire Huyang. and currently there should be around 500 billion citizens, Molly Meng reported. Every epoch, the residence fee collected amounts to about 50 million cosmic sand. The income from the primal chaos ruins each epoch is about 6 million cosmic sand. 20% of the residence fee is remitted to the royal capital, and the rest is needed to maintain the entire city's operation. What can be presented to the city lord should be around 30 million cosmic sand per epoch, Molly Meng explained. Luo Feng understood. It might seem not very much, but this income was consistent every epoch. Over 1,000 epochs, that would be a total of 30 billion cosmic sand. Of course, in normal realms of the primal chaos, the long years would breed a large number of races, and the cumulative costs of cultivating a massive number of races would be substantial. His own family, all in the primordial cosmos region, generally had very little power, and most of the family members couldn't even become immortal. In the land of origin, clans from major families began as true gods. When totaled, a large number of true gods of void space, and even over 1,000 eternal true gods were common, and the expenditures for each era were immense. Even the imperial clan of the Flame Wind ancient country doesn't dare to openly provide resources, but still requires the offspring of the clan to compete for them, Luo Feng secretly lamented. Perhaps some ancient beings, in order to rid themselves of the burdens of their vast clans, deliberately chose to reincarnate. Sometimes, when a family proliferates to a certain extent, it instead becomes a burden to some ancient beings. City Lord Moyu who respectfully said, some cultivators who have joined the city owner's mansion also want to receive some cultivation inheritance. As long as they have enough merit points, they will have the opportunity to exchange for the inheritance, Luo Feng nodded. Why do cultivators follow the powerful? The key reason is the inheritance. Without inheritance, relying on oneself to explore, the difficulty increases by 100-fold or 1,000-fold. You all may leave now, and quickly organize the management plan for Huyang City, Luo Feng instructed. Yes, the two deputy city lords responded with ambition and respectfully withdrew. Morosa had been there all this time, and only now spoke. Master, the Molly Meng family has several eternal true gods, and there are also familiar eternal true gods like Gao Wu Shui who have taken refuge with them. Their side holds a strong power. Mo Yu Hu is relatively weaker by much. You are mistaken, the Shu clan has mostly returned tonight, and at this moment, they are together with Mo Yu Laifeng. Luo Feng smiled and said, after all, Mo Yu Laifeng is the direct disciple of Shu Yu. With their master-disciple relationship, the Shu clan was the first to take refuge with the Mo Yu family. Morosa then understood. Luo Feng, even though he greatly trusted Mo Yu Hu and Molly Meng, still made them constrain each other. Huyang City gradually gained a new order. The eternal true gods and true gods of the void space, originally plundered by the Heart Shadow sect, were surprised to find that the dark forces had completely disappeared. And their fixed assets were also distributed back to them by the city owner's mansion. Life will be easier from now on, many ordinary merchants felt immensely relieved. The Black Butcher, initially dependent on Luo Feng, rid themselves of much extortion and blackmail. And now, the entire Huyang City, merchants no longer worried about the dark forces, and commerce was even more prosperous than before. Huyang City has become better than before. Gao Wu Shui, leading a squad of Huyang guards, looked upon the bustling city and smiled. With the pinnacle of primal chaos realm situated here, more and more ordinary true gods are coming to Huyang City. At another location at the moment, Luo Feng, with a servant and a disciple, had already met up with Emperor Chu Yu and his party. It seems your two deputy city lords are managing Huyang City quite well. Emperor Chu Yu smiled and said, whether Huyang City can become even better depends on Brother Luo his strength. The more powerful you become, the more prosperous this city will become. Luo Feng, looking at the city, smiled and said, it will definitely become more prosperous. Let's go. Immediately, Emperor Chu Yu used a space-time treasure to connect to the distant Flame Wind ancient country. Whoosh tilde 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 tilde. In front of them, the void twisted, and a space-time passage appeared. Emperor Chu Yu, along with the deputy pavilion master and Luo Feng with Morosa and Mo Yu Qingyang, the five of them flew into the space-time passage together. Upon arriving in the land of origin, Luo Feng's first stop was Huyang City. Now that the Huyang City arc has concluded, Luo Feng, after becoming a pinnacle of primal chaos realm, will officially embark on the next major storyline. Tomato will take a break tomorrow to prepare well for the upcoming storyline, and will update the third chapter the day after tomorrow. This episode is end here.